Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm very excited because I'm diving into something brand new that I haven't done before. This content is completely fresh and different from anything you've ever seen me do. I hope you're excited as I am. Sit back, relax, and let's jump into it. Oh man, where do I begin? Left 4 Dead is one of the best games ever made. Released in November of 2008 by Valve in a small studio by the name of Turtle Rock. I've had many experiences with the game ever since I was a small kid. It's always been one of those games that you distinctly remember from your childhood. Sometimes you can't even remember them, but the names of those games. But Left 4 Dead just stuck. I don't know why it did. All I know is that game was amazing ever since it was released back in 2008, and it was revolutionary for the world of FPS and zombie gaming. When you first start up the game, you get amazing original music by Valve. You get a sense of unease. Something is wrong. Something is off. You are greeted with a woman singing what sounds to be a lullaby, broken up by slight radio static. In the background, you see many people who are presumed dead or infected, aimlessly and helplessly wandering the old remains of a world ravaged by the infected, where law and order are no more. This music was beautifully crafted and composed by, sorry if I messed this up, Mike Moraski. Born June 19th, 1964. You can hear the music right now, as a matter of fact. In the developer commentary, Valve stated that they wanted the music to be what the player felt, not what the game felt. Left 4 Dead stands out as one of the best zombie games ever made due to its masterful use of environmental storytelling, dynamic gameplay, and innovative design. Valve created a very unique experience by focusing on cooperative gameplay in a world ravaged by the zombie apocalypse. Valve really took no expense from this game, stopping at absolutely nothing to make sure that this game was nearly perfect in its amazing soundtrack to world building. When the game first hit the scene, it was like stepping into a new era of what video games could become and achieve visually and raising the standards. Valve didn't just design a game, they created an immersive experience that was as much about the environment as it was about the action. The graphics were very ahead of their time, with the brand new, well, nearly brand new Source engine being at every corner of the action-packed world, with intricate details that made the world feel alive. The textures, the lighting, the shadows weren't just technically impressive, they conveyed a mood, drawing players deeper into the game's narrative. That's what really sets this game apart from other Valve games and really other games in general, because this game still holds its own nearly in 2024, which is really saying something. What really set it apart were the small touches, again, like the graffiti on the walls, each tag telling a story or hinting at the world what happened to it at least. Those weren't just decorations, they were part of the game's core DNA, the core storytelling, adding layers of meaning and context. The developers didn't hold back. They made sure to make every single square inch of the game feel authentic and lived in, as if it were actually our own. That's part of the reason why Left 4 Dead feels like such an authentic game, because it feels like it could possibly happen today and maybe even in our real world. As you see in the clip shown in this video, facing a horde of common infected combined with a tank creates a chaotic, fun challenge. The horde provides a relentless swarm of cannon fodder, overwhelming numbers, and sheer pressure to incapacitate survivors, while the tank is just constantly moving forward, punching his way through the infected, making his way towards the survivors, and his ability to break through defenses and cause massive disruption, coupled with the constant threat of the horde moving like a mob ready to beat you, is what makes the game so fun. Now, imagine, couple that with more infected, like the boomer to draw more hordes, the witch to stun people, the hunter to pounce, and the smoker to separate. Now that is a very, very dynamic duo. Another example as to why this game is still great today is the sound cues. The sound cues provide very good data when you're playing the game. You know when a horde is coming. You can tell that a special infected is going to spawn, or you know when you're gonna die, pretty much. The AI director decides all of these, whether to spawn in a big horde if you're doing really good, or a small horde if it really wants you to suffer a little bit less if you've been doing a bit bad on the higher difficulties. Have a listen to this amazing sound cues that let you know everything that you need to know about the game. As you can see from these themes ensure readability between each of the infected. So pretty much what that means is during any amount of combat on any campaign, you'll never be left confused as to what infected is coming next or what's going to happen next. The new things are called crescendo events. Crescendo events are pretty much where the survivors are forced into a choke point and forced to hold out against a horde of infected and special infected alike. They essentially have to wait it out until the crescendo event is over to proceed to the next safe room. Although quite somewhat rare in some maps, there still is quite a handful in the entire Left 4 Dead series. The crescendo events in Left 4 Dead are a big part of what makes the game so thrilling and dynamic. They introduce a crucial element of suspense and urgency that elevates the gameplay experience. Here's why it's so integral. Number one is that it intensifies gameplay. Crescendo events force players to make quick decisions and adapt on the fly, pretty much keeping your head on a swivel. Whether it's activating an alarm, starting a generator, or blowing up a couple gas cans, these events trigger massive horde of zombies, ramping up the intensity. This sudden shift from a more controlled environment to a frantic scramble adds a layer of excitement and challenge, keeping players on edge at all times. Strategic depth makes it so that the survivors are able to successfully navigate crescendo events. Players need to coordinate their efforts, manage their resources, and employ strategic planning. This encourages teamwork and communication, as well as pretty much just, it's a co-op game, so you pretty much need to cooperate. Players must decide that what way is the best way to handle the approach to the horde. You could set up defenses, set up gas cans, camp on a minigun, or whatever floats your boat, I guess. They can still be killed by a horde though, so that's not a good thing. They also provide a sense of accomplishment. Completing a crescendo event under pressure, pretty much, it feels much more rewarding, providing a strong sense of accomplishment and relieving the tension and chaos, making you feel more resilient. And also, variety and replayability. Crescendo events just add that extra hint of variety in gameplay, preventing it from becoming too predictable like a run and gun, point A to point B kind of game. It splits up the gameplay, chops it up a bit. You can play each campaign different without it ever being the same, without a horde ever spawning the same. I will not be including the sacrifice or crash course in this video because they will be covered separately in a new video. But the crescendo events goes as No Mercy, the generator room, the lift at the gas station, the elevators. For death toll, it is the sewers, the church, and the forklift. Honorable mentions include the dead air crane, the gas tanks, the van at the airport, and the blood harvest warehouse door and train yard. Well, that's it. That's all there is to cover. In conclusion, Left 4 Dead remains a masterpiece of cooperative zombie survival for one simple reason. It's the ultimate thrill. A fun ride with your friends, essentially. It's a perfect blend of frantic gameplay, strategic depth, and heart-pounding moments that ensure that it never gets old. The crescendo events keep it nice and fresh for every session, making them exciting and unpredictable, as well as, pretty much making the game, feel like you're gonna be Left 4 Dead. And as well for this video, it was quite a challenge to make. Dissecting a game as rich and engaging as Left 4 Dead really isn't easy. Capturing the essence of what makes this game so special all these years later is very hard. Covering all the elements that contribute to its lasting appeal took a lot of effort and passion. It's like trying to describe a roller coaster ride without actually riding it. Or how else would I describe it? trying to paint a wall without actually painting, but you know, more fun. It's almost impossible to do justice without experiencing it firsthand, so I would recommend buying the game on Steam. The game is still very fun to this day. Sometimes it goes on sale, but it's just a great game. It's all worth it in the end when you get to share the excitement for the love that something continues to bring you joy and adrenaline rush to players even years after release, including myself. In the next video, we're going to be covering Left 4 Dead 2 and why Left 4 Dead 3 might happen, or maybe not, because Valve can't count to 3. And also, like and subscribe, please.